JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, wanted man among 6 arrested in Westmoreland. The Westmoreland police have arrested another of the men on their most wanted list. He has been identified as 20-year-old Roger Webb, otherwise called City Man, of Gordon District, White House in the parish. Webb was wanted for assault of common law and illegal possession of firearm. According to the police, about 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, February 22, 2022, Webb was arrested along with 5 other men when a Toyota Voxy motor vehicle in which they were traveling was intercepted along the Alma Main Road in Grangeville during a targeted operation executed by members of the Westmoreland Division's Tactical Response Team and the personnel from a Specialized Operation Branch. The motor vehicle was seized as part of its ongoing investigation. The identities of the 5 other men are being withheld pending further investigations. Police constable suffers burns during rum seizure. A police constable attempted to test a quantity of rum that was seized during an operation, had to seek medical treatment after the liquid exploded. Reports are that a white 2002 Toyota Probox motor car was stopped during an operation along the Old Harbour Road in St. Catherine, and the lawmen discovered several 5-gallon bottles with what appeared to be denatured rum. Denatured alcohol, also called methylated spirits, is ethanol that has additives to make it poisonous, bad tasting, foul smelling, to discourage its recreational consumption. It is reported that the constable wanted to test the contraband to ascertain if it were indeed rum. He reportedly removed one of the bottles from the car and placed it on the ground. The constable then reportedly used a lighter to ignite the liquid, which exploded, causing burns to his face. He drove himself to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he's been treated. Rifle seized in St. Catherine. The police are reporting the seizure of an M1 Garand rifle and a magazine during an operation in St. Catherine on Tuesday night. Reports are that the team was on an operation in the Windsor Heights area about 10 p.m. when the rifle and magazine was recovered. No one was arrested in relation to the find. Superintendent Upton Nicholson, operations officer for the St. Catherine South Police Division, said that the intensification of operational activities in the parish has been reaping success. The St. Catherine South Police will continue to pursue wanted men, persons of interest, and disarmed criminals throughout the division. We solicit the cooperation of all law-abiding citizens, he said. Investigations are ongoing. Jamaican woman who traveled to Cayman while COVID positive jailed for 4 months. A Jamaican woman was allowed to travel to Grand Cayman from Kingston, Jamaica last September, despite testing positive for COVID-19, was jailed for 4 months on Tuesday for breaching COVID-19 entry requirements in that country. Stephanie Clark, 28, had disembarked a Cayman Airways flight from Kingston at the Owen Roberts International Airport in Grand Cayman on September 9, 2021, when a Customs and Border Control officer checked her PCR documents and noticed the positive result. Clark and her companion were subsequently detained and placed in government quarantine. However, her partner tested negative for the virus. Additionally, all of the passengers on the flight were placed in quarantine and monitored by public health authorities. According to a report in the Cayman campus on Tuesday, the then COVID-19 suppression and prevention regulations required all inbound travelers to produce a negative COVID-19 PCR result from a test taken within 72 hours prior to their arrival in Grand Cayman. Based on those regulations, persons who tested positive for the coronavirus were not allowed in the country and faced a fine or imprisonment for 2 years once convicted. Court hears that gangsters prefer Chinese businessmen. A Chinese businessman in Spanish Town had reportedly tried to contact the reputed leader of the Wandong gang, Andre Blackman Bryan, to find out how much he should pay for extortion fee. A former top-tier member of the gang, who is the prosecution's second-star witness, made the revelation in the Home Circuit Court yesterday, while the secret recordings which he had made were being played. During a conversation with Brian, the alleged Don, who was behind bars, was heard asking the witness, "You know, chat back to the nigger with the wholesale." The witness, when asked what the conversation was about, said that the Don was asking about a Chinese businessman who had opened a new store in the area. Asked by Chief Justice Brian Sykes how he knew about the information, he said that he was part of a discussion with Brian as the gang was supposed to collect extortion fees on the businessman. He further shared that the Chinaman tried to get the black man to find out how much money he must pay. However, during the recorded conversation, the witness was heard telling Brian that he did not get back to the businessman as he did not have his number, but promised to get the number and finalize it. The witness then asked the alleged Don who was going to send to collect the money, and Brian told him that he planned on sending him as it was a risk to send Papa, defendant Joseph McDermott.
Yeah man, me gonna make a link and make sure the thing start out properly, you see it.
The witness then assured him. On Monday, alleged second-in-command of the gang City Puss was heard in one of the recordings praising the Chinese operators for their response to the gang's demand for extortion.
You know, so the Chinese them more loyal than the B-word dirty nigger them,
he said.
You effing no more deal with the Chinese them than anybody,
City Puss said. According to him, real society people are easier to deal with than the locals. City Puss mentioned the Chinese after he was informed that a loans agency from which he used to collect a monthly extortion fee of $150,000 had been sold to a Trinidadian company. City Puss recalled that on one occasion, he had called the owner and roughed him up over the phone.
Yeah, me page him wicked, I ball the man a ball in a dog,
he said, while pointing out that the deal was to collect $200,000 monthly, but the owner balled down the amount. City Puss told his cronies that he was going to reach out to the new owner. The trial continues today. Improved crime-fighting strategies are success in St. James, says senior cop. Having recorded a 35% decline in shootings, a 40% decline in robberies, and 100% decline in break-ins since the start of the year, the St. James police are crediting improved strategies for the recent developments. Speaking at the monthly meeting of the St. James Municipal Corporation earlier this month, Senior Superintendent of Police, SSB Vernon Ellis, said that with the exception of homicides, there has been a reduction in major crimes in the parish. He shared that key among the latest strategies being employed to fight crime in the parish is an increased police presence. We have received several new officers, and assets have been sent to bolster the ground itself and the challenges that we're facing, SSB Ellis informed. The senior policeman also shared that in addition to the heightened policing, the St. James Ministers Fraternal, along with other community groups, have been helping the police, resulting in the arrest of several wanted men. SSP Ellis also expressed confidence in the work of the police officers and the various units in the division, highlighting that the Jamaica Constabulary Force remains committed to the fight against crime. Florida woman accused of stabbing disabled Jamaican husband 140 times. A woman remains in custody in a Florida jail after allegedly stabbing her estranged Jamaican-born disabled husband 140 times at their home in Palm Springs nearly 2 weeks ago. Joan Burke, 61, is charged with the murder of 62-year-old Melvin Weller. According to a report from ABC's WPBF 25 News on Tuesday, Weller and Burke were engaged in a divorce battle that would result in their assets being split. Weller, who the police said had difficulty walking, was looking forward to returning his native Jamaica after the split from Burke, his attorney told reporters. The Jamaican man was found at his home on February 11 after his stepson called the Palm Springs police, the report said. He was found by the police in a pool of blood on the kitchen floor with multiple stab wounds and lacerations to his body. A further search of the kitchen resulted in investigators locating the suspected murder weapons, knives, and a meat cleaver in the kitchen sink. Burke was found in a bedroom with cuts on her hand, and she said nothing, the article said. The woman was later arrested and charged with the murder that has shocked the Palm Springs community. An autopsy performed on Weller's body revealed that, in addition to the 140 stab wounds, he also received a blow from a meat cleaver to the right rear of his head, resulting in a skull fracture. Weller's attorney, Nicole Hamill-Scott, told WPBF 25 News that she had filed for divorce from Burke in December. This did not need to happen. This could have been dealt with through the courts in the best possible way, said Hamill-Scott. She also noted that one of the possible disputes in the divorce case was allegedly millions of dollars in real estate that under Florida law would have to be divided. That issue, the attorney said, was ventilated with the estranged couple in the presence of herself and Burke's lawyer. One of the assets Hamill-Scott shared may have been Burke's nursing assistant pension, half of which would have gone to Weller. She said her client was willing to split the assets and retire in Jamaica. Burke remained in custody without bail up to Tuesday. 35 new COVID cases in Jamaica, 3 deaths recorded. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has reported 35 new COVID-19 cases and 3 deaths on Tuesday, February 22, bringing the infection total to 127,741 and total deaths to 2,798. The new cases comprise 14 females and 21 males, with ages ranging from 7 months to 88 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 8, Hanover 7, St. Catherine and St. James 5 each, Manchester 4, St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland 3 each. The deceased are a 78-year-old female from Manchester whose death was previously under investigation, a 77-year-old male from Westmoreland and a 77-year-old male from St. Elizabeth. The deaths occurred between October 2021 and February 2022. There were 230 recoveries in the last 24 hours, bringing the total to 75,675. Currently, 188 people are hospitalized, 22 of which are severely ill, while 5 are critically ill and 36 are moderately ill. The Health Ministry has reported a positivity rate of 7%. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.